12 minutes of nonstop news continues now.
Youth sports specialization is a hot topic among student athletes and their families, and with new studies and opinions coming out about it often. But the big question remains, when is the right age?
Erie News Now, Brittany Laufer has been looking into this discussion, and she's joining us now with what coaches both in the high schools and collegiate levels are looking for when recruiting athletes.
Mike, Amanda, when looking at sports specialization, there are a lot of factors that go into the decision of an athlete specializing, such as the age of the athlete, the sport that the athlete plays, what their long-term goals are, and most importantly, is it their choice to specialize?
Matthew Bauer, or Bo Bauer, is a leader on the Cathedral Prep football and baseball team. The junior was pursuing both sports for college until this summer when he committed to Notre Dame for football.
They're two different sports, and I feel like I had more of a football mentality. Baseball gets a bit tedious, so I decided to just go with my true sport, football.
But he'll still play baseball for his school's team. Sam Perini is a junior at Fairview. He grew up playing many sports until high school.
When I was about a freshman in high school, I really started to take basketball really seriously. I started to stop my other sports and really start to focus in on basketball because I knew it was something I wanted to do.
Both athletes made the choice to specialize, but the choice to play beyond high school began when they were much younger.
I think it starts with a dream that you want to do that, then the reality hits you. You know, are you, first off, do you have the character, you know, to be recruited? I mean, are you a good person? Secondly, are you academically capable of doing it? And third, they all think it's the first thing, you know, do you have the athletic ability?
Mike Mishler coaches Cathedral Prep's football team. He encourages his athletes to play multiple sports and not to specialize early. But the question is, when should athletes specialize?
The research is going to say 15 or 16.
That's when Jeff Lewis, owner of Lewis Fitness and Performance, decided to specialize in football. He often deals with student athletes of all ages like Sam and Bo, struggling to decide if it's their time to specialize.
Similar to a Sam Perini, I kind of grew out of all the other sports. So football chose me. I didn't choose football. The same way that, you know, basketball is gonna choose a kid like Sam Perini because it's clearly a basketball player when he enters the room.
But that doesn't hold true for all student athletes.
There are some sports that favor early specialization, like gymnastics, diving. You know, those sports are early specialization sports.
For most sports, however, he recommends waiting until high school to specialize.
We educate our parents and athletes to play a lot of sports and get kind of well-rounded as an athlete.
Others agree with Lewis. Mishler often deals with coaches from across the country trying to recruit his players. He says they look for athletes who don't specialize.
Coaches that come in, you know, I see hundreds a year. They want to see kids that are well-rounded. They want to see them play other sports. They want to see them participating in different activities.
I've been out of coaching for 15 years, but when I did coach, I looked for the kid that was well-rounded.
Joe Kimball, now the athletic director for Mercyhurst University, spent years as their football coach recruiting athletes. He says coaches look at an athlete in their other sports to help them have a better idea of their athleticism.
They're looking for a football player, but the kid also plays basketball. They'll go in that off season and watch that kid play basketball. Look at his speed, his quickness, his agility, his hand-eye coordination.
Playing more than one sport also helps to keep you in shape and work different parts of your body. So when you're not on the field throwing the football, you can be developing some of your other muscle groups, letting the ones you use in your main sport recover.
They need to recover. You know, sports break you down. That's why, you know, kids that specialize, that just, you know, they're playing 11 months in the same sport, it just breaks you down because they never have a true off season.
And sports come with many commitments that may fall on the parent or guardian's shoulders.
You have to realize right now there's a huge time commitment and there can be a financial commitment based on what their sport is and what it takes.
Chicago Bauer is the mother of Bo and Merrick Bauer. She says that parents need to fully support their kids' dreams.
When Bo was 5, 6 years old and said, I'm going to play football someday, instead of just saying, yeah, okay, honey, we said, okay, great. Let's find out what we got to do that.
Because in the end, whether they specialize or not, it comes down to the student-athlete's desire.
Specializing isn't necessarily bad. You know, research is going to tell you that it's going to look like it's bad. You can do it either way. You can do it good, you can do it bad.
When you see your kid live their dream, it's worth every second that you sat on those bleachers hours and hours of sitting on bleachers, you know, just to support them in what they're doing. So it's definitely worth it.
Whether they specialize at 5 or 15, specialization in a sport should be 100% the student athlete's desire. And sports differ. Some sports do call for early specialization, but ultimately, for most sports, it's not recommended until the high school age. Back to you, Amanda.
All right, great report. Thanks, Brittany.